Welcome to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo, where we blend rock solid tips with a little bit of magic. I'm Renee Bowen, your host, life and business coach, and professional photographer at your service. We are all about getting creative, diving into your business, and playing with manifestation over here. So, are you ready to get inspired and have some fun? Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo. I'm Renee, your host. Today's show is not our traditional format. I have been having a lot of guests on the show, and you guys know I like to have a mix of guests with solo episodes, but it's been sort of a busy season for me, and I feel like we just need to have a little bit of a catch up, you and me. So today's show is going to be kind of short and sweet. It's a little bit of a life update from me, letting you guys know sort of like what's going on with me and what's top of mind as well. Like, there's always sort of like some things bubbling in my coaching communities, whether it's like one-on-one or with my groups, like things that are coming up. And anytime I mention that to you guys, to anyone like on social, usually on Instagram, I always get a lot of feedback that, oh my God, me too. So I just feel like I'm going to follow the intuition of this, my own intuition, and kind of share a couple of things that have been coming up in my coaching communities, because more often than not, it's probably going to be or feel timely to you as well. But first, a little bit of an update from me on the business side. Okay, so this summer was not as busy for my photography side of my business as it normally is. And that was kind of by design, because I had a really, really busy first 2 quarters really of this year. Spring especially was really, really crazy for me. March and April, I had so many seniors, and I had a lot of people trying to get in for last minutes, but I don't know. It was one of those things. And I don't know if it was something that you guys also noticed, as if you're a photographer, senior photographer specifically. I always have clients in spring, but this year was really a lot. And like I said, I don't know if it's just nationwide or regional. We had those really awful big fires here in California in January. So I do feel like that kind of played a little bit into that. I also just know in general, our high school senior clients are waiting longer to book. And I know that for a fact, because a lot of my coaching students are dealing with that just right now in their businesses. They're like, why are people not booking? I'm normally, pretty much full by now. And they're not, and they're freaking out. So that kind of brings me to one of the things that is coming up in my communities. And I'll get to that in a minute. So stay with me here for a second. But in general, my summer was not as busy outside shooting, which was really kind of nice, because I had a crazy, crazy spring, really busy, really good, profitable months. Like, we're talking really good. And then my son graduated college. And so we went out to Boston for that. So it was just busy. So by the time I got home in June, I was just kind of tired and a little bit of burnt out. I'm not going to lie. So I have been doing the podcast, and I'm doing my coaching. So the coaching side of my business didn't slow down. It actually picked up, but the photography side of my business slowed down, which was fine. So for me, it's a little bit of, an ebb and a flow. Sometimes both of them are at high capacity, which is hard. And I've been trying for the last several years to navigate that a little bit better, try and predict, how I can make that flow easier for me, because when both sides of my business are really, really busy, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room for me. And I'm not on board with that. So this summer was kind of nice, I have to say. We didn't really go anywhere because we had gone to Boston for the graduation, stayed home, did a lot of things local, in LA. We did some LA things, visited some friends, had some nice dinners, went to the beach, chilled at home, and caught up on things. And I did have a long list of things that I needed to actually really catch up on that I didn't do. So now I'm heading into a really busy fall. So I'm not really sure how that's going to get done, but I'll get to that too in a second. So for me, it is now picking up. I'm recording this in mid-August, right? So we're about to go into Q4 pretty soon. That is definitely top of mind for everyone in my coaching as well. And it's notoriously just like a super busy time of year for most photographers, especially for senior photographers, and especially if you live in a climate that is, super, super hot in the summer. So most people do want to get in the fall, and plus yearbook deadlines, things like that. So I feel like a lot of us are sort of like bracing for this really, really busy time. And I just want to speak to that in a minute as well, like some strategies that you can use for that. But in general, I just have kind of really enjoyed this pace. I'm not going to lie. I think I just really needed it. And it was like the whispers of burnout. It wasn't like major burnout or like having, a nervous breakdown or anything like that. Nothing super dramatic, thankfully. But it was like a little whisper of like, I think you really need to take a little bit slower. So that's been really nice. I have been able to dig deeper into like my own health and well-being, and prioritizing that and prioritizing my walks and meditations, and that's been really, really good because I feel like I've been able to really double down on all of that, which I am going to need in the next 4 months because it's going to get busy again, which I mean, when it's busy, we make money. So we definitely don't want to tell the universe that we don't want that. Right. But I do feel like this is one of those things that's top of mind right now. I have a lot of photographers and creatives in general in my communities, kind of in that same boat. They're like, okay, I'm not super busy yet. So I'm really stressed about that, about the fact that I don't have enough clients on the books yet. And I also know that I'm probably bracing for a really busy fall. So how can you basically, make sure that you don't say yes to too many things out of desperation and out of fear, basically, like, because when you don't have clients, it's really easy to look at the calendar and freak out and have that, anxiety raise and kind of go to that place of lack. You don't do it on purpose. It's definitely not something that you're trying to make happen. But before you know it, you are really, really distracted and over concerned with the fact that you're not booked enough. And so you try and do all the things. You try and do more. Okay, well, maybe I need a new strategy. Maybe I need to be marketing here more. Maybe I need to be, maybe my SEO needs to be better. What you start digging into these like practical solutions for strategy, which, okay, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying don't do that. But what I see a lot of you guys doing is hyper focusing on that stuff and not realizing that the other side of this is the mindset piece, which is you need to relax enough to allow those things to drop in. So if you're constantly doing, and you're like freaking out and you're stressed and you find yourself really distracted, like you sit down to work, but then as soon as like Lightroom starts to process something, you pick up your phone. And I'm saying this because I do this. Because you're like, your brain is so dopamine seeking and so distracted and so stressed that you feel like you have to be like moving from one thing to another, to another, to another immediately. And you can't sort of like just calm the heck down and relax. That's a sign that you absolutely need to do that. You need to find a way to regulate. Okay. So I talk about nervous system regulation a lot. Basically, this can look like a lot of different things, whatever works for you. For me, walking, meditation, hypnosis, journaling, those are like my top go-tos. And those are like my non-negotiables. Like I'm not letting myself off the hook with these things because I know that those things are going to support me when I do get stressed. Because yes, I also do still get stressed about like not having enough clients on the books. Okay. Those photographers, by the way, just as a side note that you see online who are like, I'm booked until class of 2027 or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. First of all, it's really easy. Like you see that as a photographer and you're not booked and you see that on their Instagram and you're like, oh my God, how are they booked? Right. And then you immediately go into fear mode, scarcity, lack mode, freak out mode, basically on, okay, I need to figure out what they're doing and immediately implement that. Okay. So I need you to remember, first of all, that you don't really know what their business looks like. Okay. Is it possible that they take less clients in general than you? Is it possible that they are priced differently than you? That's a big one. Okay. If you see a photographer out there is super booked, do you know their pricing? Because those of us who are priced on the higher end of things, like more, average $3,500, $4,000 per client. We do IPS, we do in-person sales, we sell products, things like that. That's what I do. And that's what I teach, this boutique model of higher end luxury portrait photography. So, and even wedding photographers, I coach wedding photographers. They are on the higher end as well, or they come to me to learn how to, be on the higher end. You get what I'm saying? There's that, because there's a million different ways to price yourself, right? Like you can do this and you can sell products. You can also do this and sell, high res images, but have them priced higher. You can be mid-range. You could be super low range. You could not sell products. You could be turn and burn, right? Wherever you are in this journey, I'm not judging you. I'm just kind of like painting the picture here. And what I'm trying to kind of say about that is that a lot of the times when I see people talking about how they are booked out, most of the time, those photographers are not making $4,000 a client. They're more around the $1,000, which is, I'm not saying that's bad, but that there's a big difference there. Okay. So like, if you do the math at $3,000 to $4,000 a client and you're working with like 30 to 40 clients a year, as opposed to that other photographer charging $1,000 or even lower, is going to have to work with a heck of a lot more people to make the kind of numbers that you may want to make in your business. So first of all, we don't know what people want and need to make in their business, and that's their business. You know what I mean? We don't know how they run their business. We don't know their business model. And maybe you might have a hint. Maybe that person has talked about it online and you were like, yeah, Renee, I do know sort of what they're doing. Okay, fine. But you also don't know a lot of the inner workings of how that looks for them and how they got those clients and how they've been able to book out a year in advance, let's just say. Okay. So, and what they do for that and their audience may or may not work for you and your audience. So I just would encourage you to stay in your own lane. Okay. Get off social if you need to. First of all, if you are a photographer and you're just following a whole lot of other photographers, you might want to be careful about that. I've spoken at length about this, on how that can be a slippery slope to feeling really crappy about yourself if you allow it. Most of you don't need to be following that many photographers. It's really nice to cheer each other on. We all have our buddies. That's great. Like, that's really awesome. But I want you to be interacting with more of your target clients, because that's how you're going to get more of your target clients. So that's just a little side note. But, just be careful about what you allow into your field, because whatever you sort of allow into your awareness like that is going to get in to your unconscious mind. It might trigger you. It might seep in really sneakily. It might start showing up in other ways. And so just pay attention to what you're consuming online and allowing yourself to sort of like fall into. Okay, so there's that piece of it. But it can be really, really hard to look at your calendar and immediately, try and not freak out. What I'd like you to do instead, it does sound counterproductive. Okay, I'm just going to preface it with that. It's going to sound crazy. That's okay. Just stay with me here for a second. There is a method to this madness. I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing strategy. Okay. Like, yeah, if something's not working in your business and you need to tweak something, yeah, that's why you would seek out coaching. That's why you might, buy someone's program or whatever. That's why people come to me. Like, I get it. But most of the time people come to me for that strategy and they realize, oh, I've got some like inner work to do as well. Because like, yes, we can map this out. I can help you come up with this strategy, but are you going to implement it? Are you actually going to stick with it? Because you might still be listening to that inner saboteur that's telling you you're not worthy enough, you're not good enough, whatever that might be. If we don't also deal with that, you're not going to actually do the thing that we put into place. So that's why my coaching does cover both of those bases for you. It's mindset and marketing. It's strategy and woo. Hello. So I want you to relax a little bit more. I want you to prioritize your self care. I want you to prioritize your non negotiables, whatever that is. I'm not saying you have to do all the things. Pick one or two things that you know work for you and just commit to that so that you can calm down internally and make your unconscious mind feel safe enough to receive. Because when you feel safe, you open up. Okay. When you are stressed and frantic and panicked, you close up, everything closes up, right? It's constricting energy. But when you let go and like, think about when you go for a massage, okay? Like, I don't know about you, but and maybe it's because I was a massage therapist and I just have had so much body work done. I instantly fall into that massage place. Like, I don't care even how good the therapist is, which I did for a long time. Like I would get really nitpicky about how good the massage therapist was because I was one and I know what they should be doing, really. Um, Now I don't care. Now I'm just happy to be on the table. Like honestly, it's like I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to not be thinking about all of this other stuff for the moment. I'm thankful that someone is just rubbing this gigantic knot in my neck because my neck is pretty gnarly all the time. So for me, I just fall into it. Like I get on the table and I'm like, I am done. I fall asleep during deep tissue massages all the time. Like they could be digging so deep into my back and I'm like, I'm good. I'm out. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. I want you to get to that place where you're like in just trust and relaxation and knowing that the universe has your back. Okay. So remind yourself, I am well resourced. I have it. I got this. I know I'm good. Just keep reminding yourself of that because you are. I promise you, even if you are a fairly new beginner listening to this podcast, I guarantee you that you're more well resourced than you were last year. Okay. You can find proof of that. So just decide what you want to find proof of. You are the captain of this ship, right? And going into fall, this is going to be really, really important just in general, because the busier you get with your life, not even just your business, but both at the same time, and then going into the holidays, it can definitely feel like a lot. And I'm going to talk about that a lot, how if you don't set in place some strategies for marketing that will happen without you before you get busy, then it's really hard to backtrack that because you get busy shooting and editing and working with clients and you don't have time to edit anymore. And then come January, you're like, oh my God, where's my clients? So this is sort of that same vibe. It's just that it's a different time of year. Okay. But it's still relevant because a lot of people are just in general waiting to book, right? They're kind of waiting to the last minute. I don't know if it's just like the climate of the world and everybody's like, oh my God, the world could just end tomorrow. So like, why plan anything? Maybe. I don't know. I find myself sort of, falling into that a little bit too. Just some silly things. Like I have it planned enough of like, my son is moving back home from Boston to LA and I'm going to be leaving in another week to go out there and help him pack up. And there are just some things that I needed to do to plan for that I sort of like knew I needed to do and just didn't do, which is very, very unlike me, by the way. I'm a Virgo. I'm like a hyper planner. So for me, I was like, okay, well, maybe that's not a bad thing, right? Like maybe me like letting go of that, it kind of felt okay. And it still got done. Like well, the move hasn't happened yet. So let's reconvene after this weekend and after the move. And I'll let you guys know how smoothly that went because yes, I am flying out to Boston and staying there 3 days. We're going to pack up, clean. I have one of those U-Haul pods, like those boxes. It's like a giant box that they will come and deliver. We will load it up with all his stuff because he's accumulated quite a lot of things in the last 4 years. And then we're going to drive his car back across country with like the most valuable things in there, like his guitars. So that does stress me out a lot, just in general. That really triggers my anxiety. But we did that on the way there. He just didn't have as much stuff because we purchased everything when we got there. And I was thinking, we can definitely sell a lot of his stuff. We could do that. And we might still do some of that. But I mean, we could also just pack it up and move it back because he's going to be getting into a different apartment here anyway, pretty soon. And so he's going to need to rebuy this stuff. So I'm like, okay, we might be able to like make this a little bit more efficient. So anyway, that all needs to happen. And it all needs to happen at a timely pace, right? Like we have to be out by a certain date. We have to clean by a certain date. And he has roommates and they're guys. And so we will see how interesting that is. But yeah, about a week and a half ago, we had all summer to plan this. And it has been essentially planned. And about a week and a half ago, he told me that he might want to stay in Boston. And I was like, really? You had all summer. You had all summer to plan this, bro. Like what? Why are we waiting to the last minute? In his defense, he was offered like a manager position at the job that he has. And so he was going to be making a little bit more money. So I think it felt more feasible. But then after about a week and a half of looking at new apartments, because he would have to get a new apartment, new roommates, the whole deal, and then looking at how much he'd actually be taking home, wasn't that much, you know? It sounds like a lot to somebody right out of college. And then you start doing those numbers, which, I mean, thankfully I work with numbers and creatives all day, every day. And I was able to like just quickly sort of like whip up a spreadsheet and logistics for him. And I was like, do you really want to live like this? Because like it is really going to be tight. Like it's going to be really tight. Boston has surpassed even LA and New York and San Francisco as far as high rental prices. So it leads the nation in overpriced rentals because it has like 30 something colleges in that town. So they know that they can get it. So he just, yeah, it was going to be too hard to find a place that he could actually afford and then, still have money to live on. So he scrapped that idea and decided to stick with our plan of us driving back across country, which I think is going to be like a fun little bookend for us because I drove out there with him 4 years ago and now we'll be driving back. And he's like a whole different person. It's so fun to like, as the parent, if you're listening and you have little kids, I know that a lot of people like to scare you about like, oh my God, just wait until their teen years or wait until, whatever, their college. I really do feel like a lot of that is overblown. First of all, I loved being a parent to teenagers. Like that was my time to shine, truly. It was harder for me when they were little. There was like that pocket of time, that magical pocket of time between like the ages of, I would say 5 and 9 or 4 and 8, like somewhere in there. That was fun. That's like the best age because they're independent enough to like wake up in the morning and get themselves a bowl of cereal. They don't need you to like, be right there with them the whole time. They have a little bit of easy independence. But they're also still so enamored by you as like their parent and they listen and they are super excited about everything and they still believe in all the magical things and it's like fun. It was a really, really fun time to be a parent during those ages. Like that was probably my favorite, but like before the age of 4, really, really hard. Now I had 3 under the age of 2, so that might have something to do with it. And plus all my kids have like neurodiversity. So, and we all do too, like my whole house. So it's really chaotic for a long time. And then the teenage years, like my husband had a harder time with that than I did. Like once my kids got to like that preteen stage, I was like, okay, you're like cooked. You're kind of like, you're almost there. You're almost cooked, right? That prefrontal cortex is not formed, but like you have some big ideas and you have some big questions. And I love that. Like, so I loved being a parent to them as teenagers. And now as adults, it's a whole different thing. Like, yeah, could he move across country by himself? Yeah, of course. He's old enough. He has a car. He knows how to do all that. But I really, like, I had parents who helped me do that kind of stuff. I never felt like I had to be completely on my own, which is very rare for a Gen Xer like myself. Most of us didn't have that kind of support, but I did. And it was one of the things that I promised myself when I had kids was that I was going to be that for them too. So like, yeah, anytime they need me, I'm there. But anyway, all that to say, I got a lot going on and I know you do too. So I want you guys to just get ready for that. Like we're mid-August. You got a little bit of time now to put some strategies in place, whatever that might look like for you. One of the big strategies that I'm working with my coaching clients is, implementing a lot of AI into their systems because Most of us can't afford a VA or a social media expert or anything like that. Like that's a cost that is hard for us to incur as solopreneurs. Okay, that's just the way it is. So that $20 a month ChatGPT Pro or plus subscription is well worth it if you know how to use it the right way. So a lot of people buy that, but they're not using ChatGPT in a way that is really benefiting them and making things more efficient and quick. Okay. So one of the things that I have for senior photographers in the way of AI is that I did create a custom GPT that you guys are loving. And I love hearing the feedback on this. It's been super fun. It's called Senior Sunday. And she is going to help you create all your content and also give you some mindset tips as well to stay on track. And it's so easy. All you have to do is just upload like your brand information. I suggest you put that in the form of like a PDF. So keep it handy, give it a little bit of context. And Senior Sunday will help you create an entire plan, a blog, social posts, the whole thing. Like it's designed to make this very, very easy. It is programmed with all my years of marketing knowledge to teenagers. Okay. So it's up to date marketing data that I have programmed it with for Gen Alpha and Gen Z, because we're moving out of Gen Z into Gen Alpha. And our clients are changing like drastically. So we really, really, really need to know how to reach them on a different level because, yes, we are selling to the parents as senior photographers. They're the ones purchasing, but those teenagers are the ones who are finding you and convincing their parents that they want you. So you do need to know how to reach them on social, with SEO, all the things. And Senior Sunday, it's only $44, by the way. And no, I had a lot of questions asking me, is it $44 a month? No, it's just $44 total. And yes, that is far lower than you'll probably find any other GPT. I saw somebody selling a GPT the other day that basically does the same thing as this. It's for a different market. It's not for senior photographers, but they're charging like $800 for it. And then most people are charging like a $75 a month subscription to their GPTs. This is just $44 total. So you buy it, you get it. Also, if you have content fuel, if you want to get content fuel, which is the other thing that I have for you guys in the realm of AI, it's a bank of never ending prompts. Okay. So I consider myself a very good prompter. I've been using ChatGPT since the day it came out. I know how to prompt chat. I get really good results from my chat. So content fuel is something that I started selling last year around, I think it was Black Friday. It started off as 250 prompts. Now there's more than that. And I just keep adding to it. And you're locked in at the price that you purchase it for. And for now, at least, because this will change probably in the next 6 months or less, for now, you get Senior Sunday, the link to that inside of Content Fuel, because Content Fuel is a Canva doc. I wanted to make this as easy as possible for you guys. I didn't want to like create a course where you have to log in and all of these like stupid things. It's a link. You purchase it. It's $75 total. And for now, because the price will increase over time, it's $75. You get an email that sends you the link to the Canva doc, and that's it. You've got access to it. There it is. And inside the Canva doc is the link to Senior Sunday. And so you get both for $75. So it's a pretty great deal. And on that note, I have something really, really cool. So yesterday, I announced if you're on my email list, you should have gotten the email that talked about the photo bundle that I am a part of this season. This is volume 3 of the photo bundle. You guys might know Reed Gallagher. He's a senior photographer out of Texas. And this is his 3rd year of doing this bundle. The bundle is like 23 resources, I believe, and they're really good ones, you guys. Some of them are fantastic. There's a financial resource in this that is worth almost $400. And then there's Content Fuel. I added Content Fuel to that. So you get Content Fuel, which includes Senior Sunday and multiple other courses, programs. It's worth like well over $2,000. It's $97, but it's only available for 1 week. So you only have until August 26th to buy this. The link for it is in the show notes. You can't miss it. Like if you are a photographer of any kind, it's not just for senior photographers. If you are a photographer of any niche and you are interested in a lot of education for a very low price, this is your chance. Okay. So I'm really, really excited to be a part of it this year. And like I said, you can get Content Fuel and Senior Sunday included, as well as so many other great resources. I looked through some of them last night, just sort of like perusing what everybody was offering. And I'm literally blown away by some of the things that people have in there. So y'all need to get on that. And then I'm also going to be coming up in September and October. I'm going to be involved in two different AI conferences. One of them you can sign up for now for the waitlist, and you definitely want to sign up for this. It's called Her AI. And I love this because, first of all, the women who are hosting it are phenomenal. They are power users of AI. Okay. So like we're talking like really, really intricate automations, and like they're very knowledgeable when it comes to AI. And all of us who are involved in this summit are really passionate about getting more women to use AI, because right now it's still pretty male dominated, and we need more female voices training these models. So I'm really excited to be a part of it. You guys are going to love it. If you're a female entrepreneur, hop on the list. The link is in the show notes. It's called Her AI Summit. And if you sign up for the wait list, you're going to find out immediately as soon as it goes online. And that's coming. I have a really awesome presentation that I am creating for it. It's something completely new. So that's coming up. And then I'm also going to be involved in another summit called Ease and Alignment AI. And that's going to be really, really awesome. So that's coming soon too. And then I am going to be putting on my own class. A lot of you guys have been asking me this for a while, you photographers in particular, like, my coaching students, my Elevate students, and my one-on-one students get a lot of this from me because this is very top of mind for us. Like I said, we need help running our business, and most of us can't afford someone like a physical person to do it. So AI really has been a lifesaver for me. I have created custom GPTs that run various pieces of my business. Again, I'm really great at prompting, so I can get really good results really, really quick. I just sent a really meaty prompt that I added to Content Fuel. So if you own it, it's there now. It's like a multi-step prompt that trains your chat to, like, for you to just kind of go in and say, okay, let's go. And it gives you a list of all of these different things, like a blog post, but very specific to a blog post, social posts. And then within that, how many reels, how many carousels, how many stories. It's very, very intricate. And so I am going to be teaching a class, and I haven't fully decided, but I think I'm going to have it on my birthday. I think it's going to be a little, because that's kind of like the only day in September that I have that's not fully booked out with other stuff. And I think it might be kind of fun to host like a little birthday party for myself, of course, because, I'm a Virgo. We have birthday month, because why not? And yeah, September 17th, I think, is going to be the date for this class. My coaching students in Elevate and my one-on-one coaching students who are working with me at that time will get it for free. And I don't know how much it's going to be yet. I'm still putting together those details. It's one of the things I got to check off the list this week before I leave for Boston. So watch for that. If you are on my email list, I will put the link to get on my email list below. But if you're on it, you will obviously get information on that first. I want it to be interactive. I want to have it live so that I can answer your questions and walk you guys through like sort of the basics of it. So like from beginning to advanced concepts, right? And then after the fact, I will sell it as its own standalone course, and it'll be priced higher when I do that. So you're going to want to jump in when it's live, because you will get access to that replay and you'll have it for the lower price. You'll get locked in. And I'll probably include Content Fuel and Senior Sunday inside of that for people. Like a lot of you guys might have it already, but I'll probably include it in it. Anyway, all that to say, that's coming in September too. So come and spend my birthday with me and I'll give you presents. All right. I think that's all I have for you guys today. I know it's kind of a lot going on. I hope that you are regulated. I hope you're going into fall season feeling really good. But if you're not, you know where to find me. I do have some openings for coaching. Elevate's not signing up until January, so you can't get in that, but you can sign up for one-on-one. And I am offering a very, very limited number of one-on-one calls. So like normally when I do one-on-one coaching with creatives and photographers, it is for a minimum of 3 months, because to get into your business and really like make some changes, we need time. However, with the AI stuff, and I'm really leaning more heavily into this, like I'm by this time next year, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm like doing mostly AI, but we'll see. All that to say, because I'm doing a lot more of that and I'm teaching a lot more of it, and it's coming up in conversations, like a lot of my DMs are about this, I have opened up a limited number of just one-on-one, one-off calls, right? Like, so you can just pay for one 90-minute session with me. And then we can dig into your AI. Like I can help you create your own GPTs. I can help you create like your own plan, basically, however we want that to look, like multiple GPTs. Because like once you create one, then you get the idea. But we can get your AI like locked and loaded in 90 minutes. So that is also something I'm offering. I'll put the link down below as well. They're limited. Like the spots are not like, it's not daily stuff. Like I have them sporadically on my calendar. So if that is something that you think you might need some help with, go ahead and grab that link below and then grab one of those spots, because they might go quick. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and touch base with me on Instagram and let me know how you're doing. All right. Have a good one. Love you. Bye.